You're stuck in traffic, again, and you already know the problem because everyone knows the problem. There aren't enough lanes. The road's too small for this many cars. If they just build another lane, another road, another bridge, this would all go away. It's the most obvious fix in the world. It's also wrong. Not sometimes, not it's complicated. Wrong in a way that mathematicians can prove on paper and cities have proven in the street. Adding a new road to a network can make the traffic worse, slower for everybody, including you. And here's the part that should really break your brain. There are cities that got traffic to flow better by tearing a major road out, demolishing it, turning a 6-lane highway into a park. Hold that image, because I'm going to explain exactly how destroying a road can speed up a city. But first, we have to talk about why your instinct, build more, is a trap. Here's the thing. Traffic has in common with a video game. Everybody's playing selfishly. And the selfish move isn't the best move. Picture 2 routes from home to work, 2 paths. And imagine each path has a weird property. One half is a wide, spacious road that always takes 15 minutes no matter how crowded it gets. And the other half is a narrow bridge that's fast when it's empty, but slows to a crawl when everyone piles on. Left, with 2 balanced routes, drivers spread out. Half go one way, half go the other. And it self-balances into a pretty good average time for everyone. The system isn't perfect, but it works. Now, a helpful engineer builds a shortcut, a brand new road connecting the 2 routes right in the middle so you can take the fast half of Route 1, cut across, and grab the fast half of Route 2. Free, open to everyone. What happens? You look at that shortcut and think, that's obviously faster for me, so you take it. But here's the problem. Everyone looks at it and thinks the exact same thing. Because every single driver is optimizing for themselves, they all funnel onto the shortcut and pile onto both of those crowd-sensitive stretches at once. And the roads that were fine when traffic was split, now everybody's crammed onto them. The shortcut that was supposed to save time drowns both halves in cars. When the math is worked out on the classic version of this network, the result is brutal. After the new road opens, everyone's commute gets longer. Not the average, everyone. And you can't just choose not to use the shortcut, because if you avoid it and everyone else takes it, you lose even harder. You're trapped taking the road that's making your own trip slower. The only winning move stopped existing the moment the road got built. This isn't a hypothetical. It has a name. In 1968, a German mathematician named Dietrich Braess wrote it down. His finding, in plain terms, adding extra capacity to a road network can increase everyone's travel time because of how selfish drivers redistribute themselves. It's called Braess's paradox, and for decades it was mostly a mathematical curiosity, partly because Braess wrote it in German and it didn't even get a proper English translation until 2005. A beautiful piece of theory that surely wouldn't show up in the real world, except it kept showing up in the real world. In 1990, on Earth Day, New York City's Transportation Commissioner closed 42nd Street, one of the most permanently clogged crosstown streets in Manhattan. Everyone braced for gridlock, a major artery, shut in the middle of the day. And instead, traffic in the surrounding area got better. Removing the road improved the flow. Seoul, South Korea, did it on a massive scale. There was a 6-lane elevated highway running through the heart of the city, carrying around 168,000 cars a day. In the early 2000s, the city tore it down, the whole thing, and put a 5-mile-long park and a restored river in its place. Every prediction said Carmageddon. Instead, traffic in the city got better, and Seoul got a gorgeous public space out of it. Stuttgart, Germany. A new stretch of road made downtown traffic worse, and it didn't improve until they closed the new section. New York did it again in 2009, pedestrianizing chunks of Broadway around Times Square, and traffic on the avenues didn't collapse the way everyone feared. Same pattern, city after city, continent after continent. Sometimes the road is the problem. Sometimes deleting it is the fix. Now, you might be thinking, okay, weird edge case. Rare glitch, special networks where the geometry lines up just right, and that's a fair pushback. So let me show you the version personally sat in. Braess's paradox is the exotic one. This next thing is the law. Forget clever shortcuts for a second. Take the most obvious fix imaginable. A highway is jammed, so you make it wider. More lanes, more room, more cars can flow. Case closed. Here's what actually happens. The wider road really is faster for a little while. And that speed is an advertisement. People who used to take the train see the highway flowing and start driving. People who used to leave at 6 a.m. to beat traffic now sleep in and leave at 8 like everyone else. People move farther out into the suburbs because the commute finally feels bearable. New shops and offices and neighborhoods sprout up along the shiny new road. Every one of those choices adds cars, and they keep adding cars until the road is exactly as clogged as it was before you widened it. The traffic doesn't overflow from somewhere else. The road itself creates the new traffic by making driving attractive again. Economists have measured this so many times in so many countries that they gave it a grim nickname, the fundamental law of road congestion, and the number is almost eerie. Study after study finds that when you increase road capacity in a city by 1%, you get roughly 1% more driving to fill it. It's called induced demand, and the ratio is nearly 1 to 1. You build it, and the cars come to meet it. Every time. If you want the monument to this, it's in Houston. The Katy Freeway was a notorious bottleneck, so Texas spent around $2.8 billion widening it. At its widest, 23 lanes across, one of the widest freeways on the planet. A cathedral of asphalt. Within a few years of finishing it, commute times on the Katy were longer than before the widening. By some measurements, morning and afternoon drives got worse by around 20 minutes. 23 lanes, almost $3 billion. And people got to work slower than when it was small. You cannot build your way out of traffic, because building the road is what summons the traffic. Now let me be honest with you, because it would be easy to walk away from this thinking, roads are bad, never build anything. That's not the lesson, and it's not true. Roads obviously work. New capacity in a growing place or a road that genuinely connects somewhere that had nothing can create real value. That's not induced demand being a villain. That's a road doing its job. Braess's paradox doesn't happen in every network. Plenty of new roads help exactly like you'd expect. And induced demand isn't infinite. The cars come until the road fills, but a place with nowhere left to grow won't conjure them out of thin air. So the fix isn't tear out every highway. The fix is subtler and more uncomfortable. More lanes is not automatically more flow. A road network is not a pipe where wider always means faster. It's a game, full of people, each making the selfish call. And in a game, adding an option can quietly make everyone worse off. That's the thing the 23 lanes never understood. They were trying to solve a plumbing problem. It was never plumbing, it was game theory. So the next time you're sitting in traffic, furious, thinking, why won't they just build another lane? Remember Houston. Remember 23 lanes and a longer commute. Remember Seoul tearing out a highway and getting a river back, and better traffic in the bargain. The road you're stuck on isn't too small. It's exactly the size that guarantees it stays full. Widen it, and you and 100,000 strangers will all independently, selfishly, reasonably decide to fill the new space until you're right back here, in this exact jam, having paid billions for the privilege. The traffic isn't a bug in the system. You're the traffic. And so is everyone else.